Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet and that's how it works now. I'm No Illusions, and I'm going to be leading this sleuth. That's the collective noun for a group of bears, apparently. But to do that, I'm going to need some folks to bear with me. First up, two men who are dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly, with stories to share, Keith and Eli.
All through the forest, we sing out in chorus. I love this song. Gummy Bears. Okay. Yes.
Noah told me before the record that those are the words to the Gummy Bears theme song. Otherwise, I would 100% assume he was dying.
I get it. That's why I told you.
Such a good show.
And also joining us tonight, a man who will steal your picnic basket and another one who's smarter than the average bear, Tom and Cecil.
Hey, you can't blame me. Do you see what that basket was wearing? It was asking to be stolen.
Jesus. And before we get started, I want to remind our listeners that Grizzly times might be brewing financially.
So good.
For those who don't hand to the masses. So join the Cub and sign up to be a patron today.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Hey, so
Look at happening with Noah right now.
Stick around to the end of the show. Now that I've stepped on everybody's bear puns, tell us, Heath, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event we'll be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about Troy Hurtubise.
Okay, so is that a real name? Who is
Sure is.
Troy Hurtubise?
Yeah, he was a Canadian inventor and conservationist who survived a grizzly bear attack in 1984 and then spent the rest of his life trying to build a suit of body armor that would let him relive that wonderful experience and survive another fight with another grizzly bear.
Outstanding.
He also came up with several other inventions that were intended to protect against a wide variety of absolutely absurd scenarios and sometimes grant superpowers. He was not successful. He kept trying so fucking hard. And that includes video footage of Troy getting attacked, smashed, burned, and just generally maimed in so many different ways in order to test his body armor. And those moments are immortalized in possibly the greatest movie of all time, a documentary called Project Grizzly.
Yeah, if you like Jackass, but you wish Johnny Knoxville didn't know it was coming, you're going to love Project Grizzly, everybody.
Well, especially because he manages to not know it's coming and deserve it. It's so uncommon.
Okay, so Troy's career as an inventor, it is fascinating, but even more importantly, he's a true hero of accidental comedy, like a hero. And I found a 5-second video that perfectly captures his personality, so we'll start with that. It's from an interview with Extra about his experience with surviving that bear attack. He's got the courteous, modified mullet of a proper Canadian with the lines buzzed on his temples that I actually had when I was like 8 or 9. He's wearing a tan suede jacket with a piano of giant tassels running across the entire torso and both arms.
Hell yeah.
And of course, he's in a karate stance. And he's so fucking excited to be on TV and trying to impress the lady from Extra. He says, "The bear punches me with such force that I fly back." And then he launches himself backwards and hits the ground so fucking hard.
He does
really
it so hard. And he flies straight back. Like, Heath isn't kidding. Jackie Chan would be fucking proud of this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the rest of the clip is worth watching too, because he literally hits himself with a truck, everybody.
Which is like far from the most ridiculous, dangerous thing he does. Yeah. Not even close. So here's how Troy got started on his path as a maverick inventor, disrupting the entire sector of homemade bear fighting armor. After surviving the grizzly bear attack in the Canadian Rockies, he decided to invent a bear repellent spray that would work better than the ode to bear vagina mist that he was apparently using.
Obviously, yeah.
Of course, testing a new spray would require a bunch more face-to-face encounters with bears, so he started working on the armor suit. And pretty quickly, the suit became his entire focus, and he forgot about the spray.
What? Come on. He didn't do the Iron Man repulsor spray out of his palm? Why even build a suit in the first place?
Well, I'm sure why did you build that suit in the first place is the question he hears most often, Cecil, for whatever it's worth.
So Troy called the bear suit the Ursus, and he went through a series of iterations, starting with the Ursus Mark I and eventually landing on the Ursus Mark VIII. The Mark VI is the one that was featured in Project Grizzly, and it won him the 1998 Ig Nobel Prize for Safety Engineering. He refers to that award ceremony in Cambridge, Massachusetts as that time I lectured at MIT. Yep. The Mark VI stands at 7 feet 2 inches tall, and it weighs 147 pounds, which he describes as, quote, relatively light for its protection capabilities. That protection is provided by a combination of titanium, plastic, rubber, and chainmail, and it cost him about $100,000 to build. Based on his testing, it can withstand a variety of attacks, including an AK-47 from 3 meters away, and of course, a chainsaw to the chest.
Listener, it looks like someone gave the guy who made Robbie the Robot a can of road marking fluorescent paint. That's it.
Oh, yeah, no, it looks like Ultraman fucked the Titan submersible.
It's about to implode.
I mean, I've read the rest of the essay, so I know the answer to this, but what kind of chainsaw-wielding AK-47 toting bear was he expecting to run into?
All right, but I cannot be the only one looking on eBay right now for one of these suits. I've got it.
They were available on eBay a couple different times because he ran out of money.
Serious?
And he had to sell the prototype, which is the only one he made. Yeah.
I would mortgage my
available.
house for this suit.
Okay, so thanks to Project Grizzly, Troy got some fame and attention, and this inspired him to really ramp it up with the Mark VII after that Mark VI. He started by improving the chainmail so it could theoretically withstand the bite of a great white shark.
Because he intended to go swimming in a 140-pound suit of chainmail?
No idea. He
I'm sorry, he intended to go sinking in 140.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So he made most of that Mark VII using 1 ton of what he called high-grade scrap metal from a salvage yard in Ontario. And here's how he described the process. Quote, I'd look at a piece of metal and say, there's my head or my foot or whatever, and then just start shaping it. But because I never made drawings, the right hand, for example, looks differently than the left. Because when I did the left hand, I couldn't remember how I did the right. So I wouldn't be able to make an identical copy of this suit, even if you paid me.
Well, see, now I wrote in the notes, no need to worry about someone paying you to make this man. But now I know about Tom, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if this will work, but I'm sure I can't repeat it. That is quite the flex. That is.
So, according to the people who run the Ig Nobel Prizes, who gleefully covered every new innovation from their favorite winner, other upgrades on the Mark VII and Mark VIII included a built-in video screen, a cooling system, titanium struts, no idea what that would mean exactly, also airbags, and fingered hands. And for the Mark VIII, instead of scrap metal, Troy decided to invent a brand new material. He called it FP13 and claimed it was 105 times stronger than steel.
Now, Heath has pasted some pictures here in the notes, and I'm telling you, man, it looks like someone tried to paint a small witch doctor totem like a space marine. It is genuinely the greatest thing I've ever seen.
The helmet is the size of a recliner.
It's so big.
Seriously. Okay, I know the thing about the metal being stronger is bullshit, but how amazing would it be if this guy had actually invented a new metal, and then for the rest of history, we had to admit that, like, the 21st century standard for metallurgy was created by a guy trying to luggage test himself on a bear.
Okay, I know we're supposed to make fun of the guy building the RoboCop mech suit to fight the bears, but you guys, hear me out. He's building a fucking RoboCop mech suit to fight bears. I want this. We all need heroes. That's all
This
I'm
guy,
saying.
he's my hero. Thank you, Tom. You understand. This
I think
guy's
Tom is
amazing.
falling for this suit because he looks like the middle picture, like Ram Man here. That's what it looks like. That. Like, that's what Tom looks
He's
like.
beautiful,
He's
Cecil.
so angry in this one, too. It's the best. And here's the best thing about the Mark 8. It was fully fireproof. After a failed fire test with the Mark 7 made the airbags explode, leaving Troy with a whole bunch of really bad burns, he came up with a new invention called fire paste. According to Troy, it eliminates the cross transfer of heat. No, it doesn't. So anything that's covered in the paste won't heat up or burn. And the paste cools down enough to touch it barehanded within 20 seconds after the heat source is taken away. No, it doesn't, but according to him, it does. It's 4 times lighter than aluminum. I think he means dense. It's more heat resistant than titanium, and it's way cheaper to make. And he demonstrated this miracle of physics on the Discovery Channel. He wears a hockey helmet covered in the fire paste, and somebody shoots a blowtorch at his head while he just casually says to the camera, "Scientists say I should be dead by now."
Actually, nothing to do with my fire paste. They just keep saying it over and over again. Yeah.
They're texting it to me now.
This invention, though, this will save so many hockey players from all the terrible burns they get on the ice from flamethrowing grizzly bears.
He solves so many non-existent problems.
Am I the only
throughout
one
his career.
seeing
Yeah.
this right now?
So, Bay Today News in North Bay, Ontario, decided to check out the fire paste for themselves. And Troy was happy to give a full demonstration. He lives right near Bay Today, their headquarters. He held a tile of hardened fire paste next to his head, and he shot himself with a torch that went up to 2,000 Celsius or 3,632 Fahrenheit. Then, after 20 seconds, he put the tile against his face and said, "It dissipates heat at an exponential rate. It's beyond belief, and I have no idea why it does. All I know is that it does." He also adds, "I could coat the belly of the NASA space shuttle with fire paste for $25,000 US instead of the $60 million it costs them to put tiles on it. It can stand up to the heat of re-entry to the Earth's atmosphere, and then they can simply wash it off."
Or not.
Or not. And then he added, "The World Trade Towers would have been fine if they'd used my fire paste."
Oh, yeah. Well, the paste prevents damage from 300-mile-an-hour collisions, too. Why not just wear that against the bear, man?
Now there's something I'd pay him to do right there.
So, in addition to the suits for fighting bears,
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He thought he was still building something to fight bears? I feel like we
Sure
moved
did.
on a long time ago.
he also invented a ballistics exoskeleton war suit, hoping to sell the prototype to the Canadian military. He called it the Trojan Ballistics Suit of Armor, or TBSOA, and it was intended to protect against an improvised explosive device, gunfire, knife battles, and most importantly, he really liked Halo on Xbox and clearly just wanted to make himself the Mjolnir battle armor.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, in the section about the TBSOA called Features, everything I'm about to say ends with citation needed, just to be clear. The suit came with 2 pistols on magnetic holsters, a built-in laser to be used for targeting, a wrist-mounted knife for close combat, and a pepper spray device. He claimed the pepper spray could, quote, incapacitate 40 insurgents.
Yeah, and the very common military tactic of dual-wielding pistols is shown
Right,
here
yes.
in this.
Obviously,
Absolutely, they train for that.
I want to know what tests he did that landed on the number 40. Right,
Terrifying.
specifically.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
He just made up a
Yeah.
number, but yes, that concept would be terrifying. So the suit also had a remote-controlled surveillance robot that
Shut the
deployed
fuck up.
from the right leg, citation needed, and the soldier could watch the robot on a fold-out screen that popped out of the left leg of the suit. A clock with military world time was built into the groin protector. Why the groin part of the suit? Hurtubise said, "It's where it's got to be." That's exact words.
Pardon me, can I
Sure,
borrow a cup of time?
Yeah. Wikipedia also says One of the shoes has a small handheld shovel locked into it. Just like everything in the section, somebody added citation needed at the end. And also, after one of the shoes in that sentence, they added, which one? Like angrily. They want to know which fucking shoe is it?
I want to be clear. He's not saying like that's on the talk page. That is the footnote. It's not citation
It
needed.
just says
It's
which
one in all caps.
Also worth noting, the suit had a helmet with intake and exhaust fans for air conditioning, a dose of morphine, a last words voice recorder, because it's for soldiers,
Jesus Christ.
and a vial of salt. Canada's military did not buy the Tibsoa from Troy.
Hey, Troy, not sure the last word voice recorder is instilling a lot of confidence in the product, but maybe we should.
Okay. Was the salt for a snack? Is that what it
No
is?
idea. Thank you, Eli.
Again, we are making fun of this guy, but this suit sounds fucking awesome. I can't tell you how often my dick needs to know what time it is in the middle of a fight.
Fight with some bears.
This is
Yeah.
essential.
Yeah, so Troy was definitely focused on the body armor stuff for a long time, but he also dabbled in a few other areas. According to Vice News, he invented several, and they put this in quotes, ray guns. And later in life, he was working on a device that would, quote, catch dark matter in a box. No idea. But my favorite was a device that he called the Angel Light, which could let you see through walls. No, it couldn't. Again, the news team at Bay Today was delighted to interview their buddy Troy about his new thing. The Angel Light device, it's about 8 feet long, and it contains colored light bulbs, 7 lasers, a photon deflector grid, a microwave unit, 8 plasma light rods, CO2 charges, magnets, 108 mirrors, and a few other secret ingredients that Troy refused to reveal.
11 herbs and spices with it too, eh? I don't trust Troy with any of these components, and it bothers me that he's allowed to have them.
Yeah.
Right.
And now there's a flame-throwing bear with a shark's mouth trying to hide behind a wall somewhere. God damn it, Troy! God damn it!
This guy thinks of everything.
So,
Back to the drawing board.
all right, there's pictures of this thing too. Look it up. It's amazing. And at this point, you might be thinking, this guy's lying and none of his shit works, including the Angel Light. But he told the news crew that he's done extensive testing to prove it works with covert help from scientists at MIT.
Did he lecture there once? Is that it?
It must have been when he met him. And then he told reporters about the covert help. For the initial test, he shined the Angel Light at the wall in his workshop, and he could immediately see right through the wall into his garage. He said, quote, I almost broke my knuckles 3 or 4 times because it was almost like you could step through the wall. You could be fooled into believing that you could actually walk right through the wall and go touch the car in the garage.
But he would. I love it. Even in his lies, he's deeply stupid and walks into walls his nose is tear.
Thank you.
And enters rooms what? Fucking fist first?
Knuckles first.
He should wear the bear outfit when he's walking around in this. No kidding, right?
Hey.
He needs some bear
Hey.
knuckles.
Why didn't it make the
That's
car
my
disappear
car.
too? I don't even understand. Like, if he shoots through the wall and that's gone, why don't the car disappear?
He doesn't even know like what direction to tell lies in. It doesn't make any sense. Anything that he says.
He was so mad that the car didn't disappear that he wanted to
Punch the
punch it.
wall.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
All right. So, following that amazing first result with seeing right through a wall, his secret contacts at MIT decided it was time to test the Angel Light on something more advanced than a normal wall. According to Troy, quote, somebody from MIT shipped him a piece of top secret paneling from the latest model of the Comanche helicopter, which is made of radar resistant stealth technology. But when the Angel Light was on it, a radar could pick it up.
Whoa.
He also tested the light on ceramic, wood, steel, tin, titanium, and lead, and he could see through all of them. He even tested on his own hand, and apparently the angel light could see through human skin, showing the blood vessels on the other side. The only big failure happened when he pointed the light at a goldfish tank, and they all died.
Yeah, now they're angelfish. Yeah.
He also mentioned that the French government sent a team to Ontario for a demo, and they were so fucking impressed that they paid him $40,000 in cash to keep working on it and then eventually finish it up and send it to France. And if it passed their testing in France, he'd be getting a substantial amount of extra money. Again, that might sound like he's lying, but Bay Today did a little extra digging. And while they couldn't find any evidence about the French military sending an envoy to check his thing, Bay Today did find, quote, documentation confirming that the former head of Saudi counterintelligence, who asked that his name not be used, has been in regular contact with Hurtubise regarding the angel light and the fire paste.
All right. Nice to know there's a government being as duped as ours is. Nothing to make you feel better
Right.
about the aliens guy.
Well, on that terrifying realization that we've allowed both an angel light and fire paste gap, I guess we're going to pause for a little apropos of nothing.
All right, everyone at this Wikipedia editors meeting, ready to get started?
Sure am.
Let's do it.
Excalibur.
Right. Okay, so a couple of notes. We're shutting down a few more pages, and you'll find those names in your list. So if anybody needs to make an edit, just email me, and we can get a temporary admin login going. Be all set. Oh, also, we got some complaints about a page. It was about a guy named Troy Hurtubise.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Okay, yeah. What's going on there?
Well, there were like 24 citation needed tags on the page.
Okay, is he someone new, like an internet celebrity?
No, he's just a big liar.
Craig.
I mean, he's made a lot of unverified claims.
Okay, so do we have counters, like other reporting? What are we missing here?
I mean, no, we don't have other reporting on whether or not he made a paste more resistant to heat than NASA has managed. No.
I mean, did he make a paste more resistant to heat than NASA?
No, Alan, of course he didn't.
Well, then put the tag in.
We can't just put a citation needed tag every time some asshole makes something up. Look, I just edited my page to say Craig invented time travel. I don't think we can rely on the internet's acumen with footnotes to debunk that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Craig. The internet is stupid, and we're trying to fix it.
Fine.
Great. Now, did everyone get their hush money from George Soros last week?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Mine was in gold doubloons.
Nice. Must have found more in the cave.
Hi, I'm Tom Curry.
And I'm Cecil Something Italian, here to tell you about this week's sponsor, Box of Awesome. Tom and I have been friends for a long time,
We sure have, Cecil.
and I know how hard he can be to shop for. Thanks to Box of Awesome, I don't have to spend all year hoping for a hint or a clue. And if there's one thing the Tom-like man in your life likes, it's a knife.
It's true. I do. Wait, they got cool knives?
They sure do. Take the Hawker box. Using the traditional blacksmithing methods used in the Thai Burma ware, this knife is forged, ground, stamped, and finished by hand exactly the way it would have been made 100 years ago.
I don't know what any of that means, but I love it.
What about me, Cecil?
Well, how about the Gadget Box? This multi-tool comes from the SOG company, a company with deep roots in the U.S. military, whose products are regularly field proven by the U.S. Special Forces.
And what about me?
The aging kit in the aged box is from the Black Swan Cooperage, a father-daughter duo located in the heart of the Minnesota Northwoods. The glasses are hand-blown from Italian crystal glass.
Wow. And what about me?
Get a free mystery gift with your first monthly shipment when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code Citation at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code Citation for a free mystery gift with your first monthly shipment. Boxofawesome.com, code Citation.
I said, what about me, Cecil? See, guys, I think my mic is broke. Can anybody hear me on the Skype call? Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you, man.
Oh,
We hear you fine.
okay.
And we're back. When we last left off, real life Iron Man was rustier than advertised. So tell us, Heath, where does that bring us?
That brings us to Project Grizzly. I'm so fucking happy. Project Grizzly, the legendary documentary of Troy's quest to build a grizzly-proof suit of body armor and then find a grizzly bear so he can have that rematch. It starts with Troy hiking through the Canadian Rockies in Alberta and finding the spot where he survived the attack in 1984. He tells the story of how he just, sensed there was a grizzly bear about to attack him, and then there was. And then he looks at the camera and pulls out two giant, comically oversized knives and does a bunch of what he believes to be knife karate moves while he explains the amazing moment of survival. He didn't use any knives to fight off the bear. He just has them now, and they're badass, so he waves them around for a while. And then he explains that he spoke with a bunch of experts. Those experts would be medicine men, psychologists, and dream analysts. And none of those people can explain how he survived.
Huh.
Does he not know that you're supposed to use experts in relevant fields?
He does not.
Or does he think that those are relevant fields? I can't decide which is weirder.
I do find it telling that the psychologists have no idea how he survived. They're like, normally being that full of shit would kill him. It just, whoa.
So,
Shit.
the movie gives a very compelling narrative about the whole bear suit project. But I'm going to skip ahead to my favorite part. We don't have time to talk about the entire movie. My favorite part is...
We do have
We
time for
probably
that.
should, but no. My favorite part
Is he Christian?
is, of course,
Is he
it's
Christian?
the amazing series of different field tests that he does on his suit. He starts by hoisting a giant piece of tree trunk with ropes and then swinging it down to hit him right across the chest. He gets blasted so fucking hard and thrown backwards right out of the ground. And then his crew runs over and picks him up.
And it's seriously, listener, it looks just like when the Ewoks smashed that AT-ST on Endor. It looks just like it.
Right. Well, and that's not to mention the 13 fucking minutes it takes him to waddle into place with the help of three guys who have to make sure he doesn't fall over.
Yeah, it took like those same three guys to help pick him up after he goes down. The grizzly bear's just going to tip him over and piss on his face.
Like the grizzly bear's going to offer to pick him up like after fouling somebody in basketball. Just, I don't know. How about?
Heath, I hope more than anything that he goes out into the wilderness wearing this suit and he encounters a bear also wearing this suit.
The ultimate weakness.
They just look at each other from across the canyon or whatever, like, whoa.
All right, now I got to build a suit to go over my suit so I have more suit. Fuck. Time out.
It's a bear Troy arms race.
Shark waddles over in its own suit. Room for three?
So from there, they cut over to Troy and his buddies at a diner talking about how medieval jousters were actually getting hurt by falling off the horse rather than getting hurt by the lance itself. And then they show another log smashing test. This time, after they get him back up and take out his giant mouth guard. He explains how that proves a grizzly bear cannot hurt him. He says, actual exact words, quote, "You could do that all day long. I can take what he can give me. I feel great. Actually, my left hand was asleep, but now it's awake." The doctors
having a stroke,
not a good
That's
sign,
not good.
man.
that's why he feels great. He
I
feels
have
his
feeling
hand.
in all my limbs now.
Yeah.
Normally, I walk around with nerve pain and damage, but this temporarily jolted shit back.
I think
into
that
play.
last one fixed some of my CTE. This is great. Yeah.
But Heath, what did the doctors of physics
Thank
say?
you, Eli. Great question.
And what about the dream weavers or
Great
whatever?
question. He tells us, he continues, the doctors of physics told me that if you want to simulate the swat of a grizzly bear, you got to hit yourself with a 400-pound log 40 feet elevated.
It's true.
How were the
That's yes.
doctors of physics laughing to themselves as they said that?
Hey, tell him he's got to hit himself with a huge tree. Watch him hit himself with a huge tree.
Get out that giant prop calculator to make it look realistic.
Just say something about PSI or G-force. He'll fucking do it. And of course they did. He continues, those doctors of physics did the PSI, the G-force. The grizzly swat will not supersede that. The only, that word means.
Supersede.
The only difference, a grizzly might be able to do that 2 or 3 times consecutively. And then he does karate chops 2 or 3 times to show
Yes.
the multiple.
Yes. Right. And it's also possible, though he seems not to realize this, that the grizzly might hit him somewhere other than the black X they've marked on his fucking chest. They keep
You
it.
can only hit me where it marks the spot.
He's just got to find one of those toothless, clawless grizzly bears that's famously a quitter.
That will do it.
Respects a 3B.
Okay, so the next field test is getting shot. He starts with arrows from a compound bow, and the suit holds him off just
Why,
fine.
though?
So no worries about an archery bear, I guess. Yep. And then he moves over to getting shot with a gun. He brings in a professional marksman, and we watch that guy fire a shotgun from about 30 feet.
I'm not sure you need a marksman to hit a man with a shotgun from 30 feet away.
Really don't. You could spin this guy around 3 times with a blindfold and he hit him.
So,
You go 30 feet, you'll poke him in the eye with the barrel. It's right there.
so the professional marksman fires the shotgun, and the entire top half of the suit breaks off and falls to the ground. Turns out Troy was not inside the suit for that moment. But for a
Shame.
second, I thought he was dead in minute 12. But no.
It's terrifying. It's like a pop
quite
scare.
scary. But no, he's fine. He walks into the frame right after that. And he's like, you thought I was in it. And then he pulls the helmet part off, and he shows us a purple balloon inside the suit that was not popped. So another successful test.
A Patreon goal, I will get shot with a shotgun wearing this suit, everybody.
All right. Next up, from there, we get Troy describing the first iteration of the suit. He bought a bunch of hockey pads and about 80 pounds of leather and just kind of taped it all together. And then his dad saw this dumbass fucking suit he made, and dad ripped the legs off with his bare hands and yelled at Troy for being an idiot. So Troy kept working. Part of that working involved spying on grizzly bears to learn their behavior. So not just building the suit, but checking out the science of the grizzly bear. So we actually get to watch Troy sneaking around a garbage dump in Ontario, seeing a bear, and then just hiding in a pile of garbage while he does some valuable recon about their behavior.
What is he? Is he like hoping to catch one practicing a kata or something so he'll not
was.
counter their moves?
So then we get a quick montage of the suit's evolution beyond the first one. In 1988, he was still in the hockey pad stage with the Mark IV. Then in 1989, he had the Mark V Series A, which appears to be the good hockey pads that like the rich kids have. Later that year, he made the Mark V Series B, which is the same thing, but it's painted white, so it looks kind of like a stormtrooper and it's a little more badass. And we get some testing on that one. He has one of his friends smash him in the face with a big plank of wood that he made into like a sword bat. And then he has two different friends attack his arms the same way with those same weapons, and then his torso, and then a double smash right at the same time, right to his head with two sword bats simultaneously. I also found a picture of a really big swing to the crotch that went very badly and got cut from the movie. But it's somewhere on the internet as a still.
Okay, Heath, I'm not saying you did this essay to show us a bunch of clips of this guy getting hit in the nuts. I'm saying if we had just let you show us the clips, you wouldn't have bothered with this essay. That's what I'm saying.
It's so good. I love this movie so much. So he was definitely safe from a grizzly bear with a sword bat. So now he's going to find out if the bear suit will also protect against falling down an extremely steep cliffside.
Why?
Yep. So first, he double checks the log smashing test with another direct hit to the face. And
Which is the greatest thing I've ever
It's
fucking
so
seen. That
violent.
log to the
Yeah.
face, his head snaps back so fast.
Really does. Really does.
Nobody explained to this man how concussions
God.
work, right? Nobody explained this at all.
everybody
He's not going to remember it. Why would you bother?
hits himself again so hard with the log, and also hits himself in the face with a giant boulder attached to a punching bag.
Sure.
Yep. Flying colors on that one too. So now we get to watch him throw himself off the side of a cliff and just tumble down like a rag doll. And then to simulate more of a real life scenario, his friend body checks him off the
Yes.
same cliff.
Well, so I honestly, I think his friends were just trying to kill him this whole time, and he just kept standing there going, "Oh, another successful test. Thanks, Frank." I didn't even think about the cliffside one.
Also on the cliff one, if he's the first one down to catch the cheese wheel, he gets to keep
It looks
Oh, yeah.
exactly like the cheese wheel competition. Yes.
Okay, look, patrons, I'm just saying, if you give us a little more money, this could have been a video episode. You could be watching these clips alongside us. I'm just saying, patrons, there is a number.
So apparently he got in touch with the Canadian government at this point and explained how he invented a suit that makes him absolutely indestructible. And they were like, "No, you didn't." And they hung up. Of course, that meant more testing. Next up, he gets a 3-ton pickup truck with a big battering ram like taped to the front of it. And he has this truck smash into him at 50 kilometers an hour. That's like 31 miles an hour. They ran. Sorry, I'm just thinking of what he gets hit so hard. He jumps up in the air. He just gets blasted. They ran this test 18 times. He says that in the movie.
Yep.
that same Grizzly's now behind a big old F-150. Oh, come on!
Okay. So you're probably thinking now, okay, that suit is pretty good, but a grizzly bear doesn't attack under controlled conditions in one particular way at a time, like a student from a Steven Seagal video, and then just stop. Don't worry. Troy thought of that too. So for the next test, he walks into a biker bar in Ontario wearing the ridiculous armor suit, and he finds 4 guys to fight him. Gets them to come outside and beat him with baseball bats all at the same time for a while.
Oh, okay, so a little peek behind the scenes for our listeners. Heath has included links with timestamps in the script, and he'll have notes next to him like, watch for 45 seconds or watch for 20 seconds, as though any of us had the physical ability to stop this documentary once it was playing.
Seriously, the only thing that matters in my world anymore is this documentary.
Right?
That's it.
I watched this documentary in full 3 times since I started writing the notes into this essay. There may not be a god-awful movies this week, everybody. If like half a month ago there just wasn't a GAM, it's because it was this. I watched this instead, is why.
Okay, movie keeps going. We get a bunch more insane testing, including engulfing himself in a giant fireball for extended periods. In case there's a bear dragon, I guess, or a bear dragon shark, or whatever. And eventually, he finally decides that the latest prototype is ready for the ultimate test. So he goes out into the mountains of Western Canada again and starts looking for a bear to fight. And in the greatest ending of all time, he never gets to try it out.
No, they do not.
They hunt around for so long. They finally see a bear that he can fight. But the crew with the bear suit at that moment, they're stuck up in the mountains and they're a little too far away. And the movie ends with Troy Hurtubise just pacing around, furious, going back and forth, looking at a bear with binoculars angrily, yelling into the camera about how I would totally beat the shit out of that bear, but I can't because they're up in the fucking mountains with my suit.
My suit's not here.
And that bear just lights a cigarette with his fire breath and drives off into the sunset.
It's seriously, this is the greatest thing. This is No Country for Old Bear. This is amazing.
So he just turns to Bing Hu, or that guy, the general from that battle a few episodes ago, and he's like, "You were right. The mountains are going up on the high hill,
High ground."
So beautiful movie. The end of the story about Troy Hurtubise himself is actually pretty tragic. He eventually fell into a deep depression after all his inventions kept failing and he never made any money because, they didn't work. He died in 2018 at age 54 when he crashed his car into an oncoming gasoline truck, causing a really big explosion. Sadly, he was not wearing a suit or any fire paste. But his legacy lives on in Project Grizzly, and most importantly, in our hearts.
All right, so if you had to summarize what you learned in one sentence, Heath, what would it be?
Everybody should watch Project Grizzly. It's
Stop
insane.
it.
Oh,
If you
God,
haven't
yes.
already watched it, just go
Stop
back,
it. The
watch it,
best.
and
Stop.
then listen. It's
Go.
so
Now.
fucking good. He gets hit
So
so
important.
hard.
So much.
So many times.
So many times.
And are you ready for the quiz, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, Heath. A. That's it? B. He fucking dies in a car accident like the kids who got a full yearbook page in high school? C. Not even a little bear? D. There is no God.
No.
Okay, so I couldn't include every dumb thing that happened to him, but at one point, he tested the suit against a bear with a bear trainer helping him out. But the bear trainer was like, "No, man, this bear's going to fucking kill you. I'm not doing it." So then he takes the suit off and then just sees what happens to the suit with the bear attacking it. And the bear just fucked up the suit. So bad.
Because it's a bear?
Yeah.
Because it's a bear?
It's a bear.
It's like, well, there goes $100,000.
And I'll say D, there is no God, is my answer.
There is no
There is
God.
no
yeah.
God. You got it right.
Or if there is, it's a bear.
All right, Heath, waddling about in the woods like a fireproof, chain-mailed, barely mobile RoboCop to avoid the 1 in 2.1 million chance of being attacked by a grizzly is A, fucking worth it. B, really? C, I haven't found this suit on eBay, but I have alerts set. D, this is all that matters now.
It's true. Tom is free.
It's D, this is all that matters now, and somehow E, all the above.
All of them.
Tom
All
is
of
going to
them.
be fucking collecting pieces of this like the Infinity Gauntlet. Are you kidding me?
I now know how I want to die.
Oh, man. All right.
Finally trade Cecil in for the last piece. I'm sorry, little one.
All right. Heath, terrible prototype names for each one of these suits. What should he have called each version of the suit? A, right to bear arms. B, bear witness. C, loaded for bear. D, bring to bear. Or E, bear necessities.
Definitely
So good.
right to bear arms.
Bear
is what I think that would be.
Yeah, right to bear arms.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's bear necessities.
Ah,
No, I don't know the rest of that
oh,
song. That's it.
oh,
That's all I know.
Yep, has the song in it. All right, well, it looks like Cecil is our winner this week.
All right, Noah, you're next.
All right, well, for Cecil, Eli, Heath, and Tom, I'm Noah. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We're going to be back next week, and by then, I'll be an expert in something else. Between now and then, you can hear more from all of us on all of our other shows, but Eli is on the most shows, so he wins. And if you'd like to keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you wanted to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes. Be sure to check out citationpod.com.
Sorry, I just played another video.
Keith, for the next 7 months, are you just going to start laughing and be like, oh, I did a really great joke right now. And you're going to be like, you did it.
I tried to call Ann just to be like, this is a great, but I couldn't talk for the first 5 minutes of the call. I just started to say half a sentence about chicken and started laughing.